Welcome back, YouTube followers, friends, subscribers, and more. About a week ago, I threw up a short containing this clip here. I was really just showing kind of a preview of the Wicked Wanda build. But a very loyal subscriber of mine, Valk69, at Valk69, says, I need to know how to make hatch covers like that. Well, Valk, or Valk69, you are about to find out, my friend. This is the console that went in Wicked Wanda. It is all COOSA, and there are hatches cut into this console. I reused the COOSA that I cut out. There is glass over the COOSA. Not sure how many layers we're looking at this point. I'm sure it's fully laid up. Probably using that 1603 that we love. And there is the cutout as the top of the console, or where it would be the backrest of that seat. And there is a COOSA frame with rounded corners. Now I can't exactly explain how I do what I do, but I am going to do my best. So what you're looking at is a 1/2 inch piece of COOSA cut approximately 1/2 inch larger than the opening that was cut into the center console. And that strip, or what would be the gutter, is a 1 inch strip ripped on a table saw and then rounded over with a 1/4 inch router bit and then hand sanded till it's smooth. I cut those straight edges to where the radius stops. You see that pencil mark? Those 90-degree lines there are where the radius ends, and that is an offset from the frame or the cutout. Then I miter those little sections to just wrap the corner. It's going to get mudded in here, you'll see next, and eventually it will get glassed over. Now, I hope that makes sense. I don't really know how else to explain that, and if you can visually see what I've done and then do your own version or put your own spin on it, or even do a better version, please leave a comment and tell me how you did it, so next time I have to do this, maybe I could save some time. I did the same thing on the outside to create the depth of the hatch and give the gutter an offset, room for a gasket, and then I cut that entire center out, rounded it over inside and out, and now that is ready to get glued into the console right here. That's a test fit. I really don't know how else to explain that other than just show you pictures of how I did it. It's glassed in here on the outside. That glass will hang, it will get trimmed, and then I will end up glassing the inside. This is way down the line, probably about 2 years later, with fairing. And there is gel coat sprayed on the entire console, and that is finished paint, just to give you an idea. That's the short version. Now let's look at the Transom fishbox bait well combination. So over on the left starboard side, that is a bait well, and on the center to the port side, that is a Transom fish box. The first thing I did was mark out the openings. I like radiused corners. The reason I like radiused corners is because radiused corners don't crack like sharp corners do. I use vinyl ester resin. My corners shouldn't crack anyway. A radius corner distributes stress much better than a sharp corner. You'll see lots of radiuses in my work. After I marked out the cutouts, I highlighted them with yellow tape, and then I cut them out with a jigsaw. The cuts were pretty rough, but what I did do was I knew exactly where I drilled 1/4 inch holes on the inside of my marks, and I knew I was going to reuse the foam that was already there because I had 1 inch insulation foam already glassed into the cap, and you can see that the Venicel, it was already glassed in there, and that is also in the hatches. So I was reusing the hatches, which is advisable. This material is expensive. It would be expensive to cut that out and then go grab a new sheet of COOSA and cut out another hatch the exact same size. So I'm reusing the material, and there they are set in place. And then I'm doing my perfect offset scribe. That washer is about 5/16 of an inch from the inside edge to the outer edge, and I'm allowing for fiberglass inside the frame and fiberglass on the outside of the hatch. So the finished space or gap will only be about 1/8 of an inch. Struggling there to get that pencil inside that washer. And that is a scribe. I'm using a welder's pencil. I think that thing was called, I don't remember the name of it. I want to say Silver Streak. I'll have to Google that. Now what I'm doing is marking out the landing. That is a solid laminate. I'm using that razor blade. I don't know if you watched their earlier videos, but I use razor blades for scribing. And at this point, Mr. @Val69, you probably just want to stop watching the video because you're not going to do this. This is stupid. This is where I kind of go off the rails, but there's a reason for it. So that panel is solid laminate. I build it. I lay it up on a melamine sheet, and it's all vinyl ester. I think a bunch of layers of 3610. I don't know how many. It's probably like 6. And I cut those corners with a hole saw, and then slice and dice them up to make 4 corners on this gutter. And so the landing is solid laminate. The landing will go up underneath the inside of the fish box. You'll see that coming up. Who's this clown? And there it is, installed. That's just temporarily installed. I'm also doing a gutter or a drain for that to drain overboard discharge into the scupper well. Told you shit was gonna get crazy. I go off the rails. But there it is, glued in with bonding putty, and then the first layer of glass. That's the top side. I will also glass the entire bottom side as well. And it appears I didn't get any pictures, or at least I couldn't find them, of the fiberglass in the bottom side of these gutters and landings. They are glassed, top and bottom, inside out, and actually kind of rough fare on the inside of the bottom of those, which was not easy to do. Matter of fact, I know I have pictures somewhere, but you'll see that in the Wicked Wanda build. And you'll also see in the Wicked Wanda build how I actually do my finish. It would take another about 30-40 minute video to get into detail about how to do that. If y'all are interested, leave comments below, ask questions, and when we get to that stage in Wicked Wanda, we can get more detailed there. There you can see the bottom of the landing was actually glassed and gel coated and finished. It ends up getting finished paint too. I'm just gonna let this slideshow kind of run. I'm not gonna get into the paint process. I do get a fair amount of questions about my finish, and I've developed some techniques and some processes that only I do. I've never seen anyone else do, and we will get more into that in the Wicked Wanda build, and maybe some separate videos on how to finish, gel coat, and then paint. Now, real quick, that thin piece of rubber, it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, I stuffed down into the gap in between the hatch and the gutter frame. This is actually in the cockpit, the bilge access hatch. And I used that same washer the same way I marked the hatches when I was cutting COOSA. I used that to mark my non-skid offset. Thought, you know, just pretty cool little trick. You can also do it on the outside too. And there are my borders getting masked for non-skid. There's the non-skid. That looks like the first coat, and then that looks like the final coat. There again, that's that cool little washer trick. I didn't say it was going to be easy. I didn't say it was fast. And I didn't say anyone else on this planet is probably crazy enough to do it. But that is how I do it. You wanted to know? You asked. If you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, maybe share with a friend, and I'll keep doing it. Thank you.